your process of reserving space for your event, you are going to begin by going to www.winthrop.edu/space reservations. First thing you are going to do is you are going to identify the space you would like to use, and you're going to check on the space use calendar to see if the space is free. This is very important. So to check that, we're going to look at the Georgia Campus Center, we're going to click September, and we're going to click monthly. This will bring up the entire building use calendar, and you can see everything that is being utilized. Anything that is in pink means that the space is already being reserved, tentatively reserved, which means it's booked. If it is in red, it has been canceled. So say I want to use 114 on September 16th, and I'm going to look through and see every time that it is available or is already booked. It's booked from 10:30 to 12:30. Let's see. It doesn't look, and it's booked from 7 to 9:30. So I'm going to do an event at 1 o'clock. 114 is free. Once I know that the space is actually available, I'm going to go hit the back button. I'm then going to apply for space requests. You are going to log on to the space reservation system using your Winthrop username and password, and then hit log on. This will bring you to the Winthrop University Space and Support request. I'm going to fill in my information. So student activities, my organization type is going to be student organization, and you're going to put in the contact name. Now, the very important that the contact name is someone who can actually answer information about the space request, because any questions the space use manager has are going to be directed to that person. If you are an organization that delegates who puts in space requests, make sure that they know if there are any questions at all, the questions are going to this person. You're going to put in an actual phone number that someone can be reached at, put in an evening phone number that person can be reached at, and an email. Very important, please type your Winthrop email out correctly. You're going to put in your Winthrop advisor. We understand other organizations have different advisors, but for the space use system, it must be your Winthrop advisor. And I'm going to put in that this is student organization training. Helps if I can spell. And then you're going to put in all the event details. This is training. And procedures. Now, I have a web address, so I'm going to add that. So if anyone's got information, student orgs, the event date was going to be September 6th. And my time was going to be, my event time is 11 to 12. My setup and breakdown times need to match, so it needs to be on 9/6, and it needs to be on September 6th. I like a half hour of setup time just to make sure I get in there, no problem, and I usually reserve a half hour for cleanup time. If you do not need setup time, your setup time and event time can match, and if you don't need cleanup time, those two can match. If this was a reoccurring meeting, I would check that it's weekly, every other week, and monthly, and I would check which day, weekdays only or weekends, making sure that if it is a reoccurring date, this end dates match the last day of the semester or the last date that I want that reoccurrence to occur. I'm doing digs, I want 114, my expected attendance 25, event classification, this is going to be a meeting. It's going to be attendance type is meeting. There's no admission, no food, no alcohol. I do want the event to be on the university's event calendar. I'm not going to apply for cultural event status. I need 25 chairs, probably 15, not 15 tables, room temperature if it matters, how I want the room set up. Very important because we have people in the digs who can do certain things. I'm going to do classroom style. I don't need extra recycling. I don't need the greenhouse. I don't need extra trash cans, and I don't need any other custodial services. If you're doing an event, say in McBride or Tuttle or another fancier space, you might want greenhouse deliveries, ballroom, etc. I don't need to worry about the space being unlocked. This is different when you're using other spaces on campus. There is sound support in the room already, so I don't need to worry about needing extra projections, but I do have to list in how many units I want. The system will not accept it without those things. check that I have read and accepted the Winthrop Campus Use Permit, and I'm also going to check that I have understood the contractual agreement. You are required by these to understand and notify all the rules, and if you break them, we will identify and there will be consequences after. I am now going to hit submit my request, and this is very important. This is my reservation number, 56749. You want to put this number in a very important spot because this number allows me to track my space request. So I will hit place at track space request. I'm going to punch in my number. I'm going to hit submit. This shows me everywhere that it needs to be approved. So it starts with Phyllis Redden, the building coordinator. It's then going to come to myself as a student organization. It's going to go to campus police, and then it's going to go back to the campus space use minister. Once you've completed that, you're going to sit back and wait, and if there's any questions, someone will contact you in regards to those, and then your space request will work through the system. It does take 5 to 7 days to process through the entire system. And that's if you want to apply for other ones, you can then apply for space requests and begin the process all over again. Please make sure you've always checked that the space is actually